Greetings and welcome to a Monday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is December 1st. Andy, how are we doing?
Brendan, we're doing fantastic. It's been a victory weekend. It's Victory Monday. It's December 1st.
Wake up.
Do you know who is the number one seed in the NFC on December 1st? Do you know who?
I do. I had my head down doing research and I had Red Zone on in the background. So basically, audio only Red Zone in the background. And my good friend Scott Hansen alerted me to this, and I popped my head up to confirm this was true. Who is first, Andy?
The Chicago Bears. The beloved Chicago Bears. What a weekend.
We learned, Andy, this week that you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, but you can turn the Bears into a contender with the right coach and the right quarterback.
I mean, this has been just incredible.
I'm happy for you. It's unbelievable. This research we're doing from essentially like 9-10 months ago, where you're interviewing, David Shaw, Mike McCarthy. You don't know what's coming, and here we are, December 1st, and you're in first place. I watched a lot of that Black Friday game. I know you fully cop hand up, smoke and mirrors situation on many of these W's. Like, you were a better team by far. It felt like that whole game. Now, it was dicey, it felt, but you were the better team than the Eagles.
Good, better, best, baby.
What is that? What is that little saying?
It's Ben Johnson. There's like a backstory. He's friends with some singer that does that before their shows.
He played high school football in Asheville, North Carolina with Chase Rice, and Chase Rice does that before all of his shows. Luke Combs also went to high school with them. I'm well versed in my Ben Johnson lore for obvious reasons. So this is there's a lot of Ben
country
Johnson lore.
Yeah.
So the motto is like, your good will get better, and then your better will be your best. Good, better, best. And, and they chant it before every game, after every game. It's become this big motto. And guess what? Our good's getting better.
I'm all in. I could do without the taking your shirt off. Look at me, thirst bucket move in the locker
Well, did
room.
you see what that was for? Did you know the backstory? Okay,
No.
so the Wiener Circle, Chicago institution, the hot dog place in Lincoln Park. They said if Ben Johnson takes his shirt off in the post-game speech, they'll give everybody free hot dogs on Tuesday. So if you listen, he goes, you guys are hungry. And you know who else is hungry? Chicago's hungry.
Right.
He takes his shirt off to get him the free hot dogs. So
got it. That is magnanimous. It was charitable for the people. All right.
Yeah.
Come
on, you got me in on the shirt off.
Okay. Well, I'm happy for him then. Then totally excused, full exoneration for the thirst. What I thought was a thirst bucket move. I'm sorry. I just turned on game day Saturday morning. All of a sudden, Pat McAfee's in no shirt shouting about someone being a dog and barking. So I'm just growing tired and weary of this behavior. But all right, congrats then. Full exoneration of Ben Johnson. I'm happy for you. First,
we're going into Lambeau next week. Nothing can go wrong. Nothing could go wrong.
Well, this was
I'm just happy. I'm along for the ride. I'm full send.
It's crazy. I don't want to do a ton of football talk. How small the margins are from especially this year, like the Panthers, the Dolphins. I look at the Browns and I'm like, we're terrible, but if we had an adequate quarterback with our defense, we might be in the. I memean, Ravens, obviously, the morally bankrupt Ravens, total frauds who are exposed. Yeah. Steelers stink. Bengals, not good. Just the margin in the NFL. We talk about the Bears, and we've got KVV here who can mark on this as well as anyone. But the margins, and maybe this is what Rolap wants for the tour. He wants Adam Schenk just body bagging Rory one week, and then being able to not being able to putt with two hands the next. I don't know, but it feels like the margin between maybe every team stinks. I don't know. The margin's very thin.
Definitely. You want a world where Josh Allen looks very mortal and normal, where the freaking Kansas City sucks. If that world is coming to the PGA Tour, baby, boy, love it. Make them make them do 2-a-days. Why not just that's like the TGL stuff. Let's have 3 matches in one day. That we can just kind of cram it all in. This is the NFL mentality, baby. He's coming to the golf.
Make it up.
I think John Madden said it best, just in general. The NFL is a better place when the Bears are good.
When did he say that? Just in general?
That's a quote. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a John Madden quote.
Can I have the floor just for a second?
Please.
How long does John Madden get like the sort of like venerated treatment? Like, is that just an every year thing now at Thanksgiving? Like networks that John Madden never broadcasts for, like celebrating John Madden? Like it feels a little bit kind of cynical to me, like kind of dirty. Like I love John Madden. Great announcer, made the games better. But like what kid like now is like has any understanding of John Madden? It's like, are we just so like hooked on nostalgia that just gonna, jab the John Madden vein every single year and be like, oh, let's show the same old,
the turducken
clips. Yeah, the turducken clips of the offensive linemen, the steam cut off their head, like all that stuff. Like, hey, I've seen that. That's great. But I don't know that like every year that's the thing I need to see. Just and they're wearing patches with John Madden on it.
You must be. What was that about? I thought when I looked at the Thursday night Ravens game, I thought at first I was like, "Is that Edgar Allan Poe? Like a silhouette of Edgar Allan Poe?" And then I like zoomed in. I was like, "Oh, that's John. Why is John Madden on a Ravens jersey? What are we
confused Jason Garrett too with the I believe that's Poe, named after Edgar Allan Poe, presumably." Thanks, Jason Garrett, for that investigative journalism.
God, Jason Garrett and Noda are just shockingly similar. Listening on Thursday.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Oh, it was good. But I'm happy for your Bears. Good big NFL weekend, sports weekend. The hoe into a housewife. I don't know if that's for the online thing, but that's Lane Kiffin. That was the joke about Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin's going to be who Lane Kiffin is, and Lane Kiffin is not doing Lane Kiffin things. And that's a fascinating story.
That turned fast for that reporter. Everyone was like, "Oh, it was unprofessional," and then like literally like 12 hours later, people were like, "You know what? Lane Kiffin is kind of a hoe. We need to." Barstool's printing shirts with Lane Kiffin a hoe on it.
Apt analogy.
Flipped.
Yeah, that's my wife was trying to ask me for like a comp, like what this was like. I was like, if Martin Traynor was American for the Ryder Cup one day, and then they're losing, he decides to become French the next day and flips while saying it's all part of America. He's riding with them. Like, I didn't have one. If you can believe it or not, the Martin Traynor analogy didn't land with my wife. Didn't resonate. But like, there's nothing. Just going to a rival and trying to take all your coaches. Kind of wild scenes. Feel bad for the people down in Oxford, but I think they'll be fine. All right. It's Cyber Monday, the 1st, if you're listening to this, but it's also still Black Friday. I can't keep it all straight. Black Friday sale is continuing. I look across the screen here. Andy's got an Andy hoodie on. I have an Andy hoodie on. Those are available in the Fried Egg Pro Shop. You go to proshop.thefriedegg.com. Use BF Sale. BF Sale gets you 20% off. That code at the end, 20% off. That's our best sale of the year. We're not apt. We're a small shop. We're not apt to just, give out discounts here like we're Joseph A. Bank or anything. But they're out of business. I think so. I don't think we want to go down that road either. But we got good content to fund, so we don't give out big discounts. This is the one time a year. It goes through Tuesday because why the hell not? Black Friday, might as well. Goes through Tuesday at midnight, the 2nd. You get 20% off with BF Sale. We've got hats. Head covers, bunch of belts, polos, some winter gear. Prints are a big one. That is a home run gifting option that won't clutter up the space. That's a great unique option. Go to Fried Egg Pro Shop and BF Sale gets you 20% off. Again, club members get an extra 25% off. We've hit football. Do we have any outstanding golf news from the weekend you want to talk about? David Puig wins in Australia. Man. I mean, this guy's a proper player. You've talked about it recently with Joseph and others about how like Clanton's the flavor of the month. Then like who is it? David Ford. Wait, should we be all in about Ben Jackson Coyvin now?
Hold on, you're forgetting the biggest name.
What's that?
How do you forget Michael Brennan when you rattle off those names?
Well, young guys who are here, then they're not, then they're here again. I mean, we've done this dance for a long time. Norman John, whoever you want to throw out there.
Norman John.
The best, the next big thing. Puig.
Matt Wolf.
He's in your interview, let me tell you. I think Puig has a pretty sustained record right now, and it's sustained for relative to these young names we're talking about, of performance at pretty big time pro events, live included, because live, those have some top of the order guys. It's not
Puig
deep.
gives like live some hope that they're not just turning up washed guys like on the retirement tour. Like Puig is like a legit young good kid.
I was watching this after I hit a double last night. Didn't get a home run, but I had a nice extra base hit last night, and I was up, maybe overserved watching the Australian PGA, and I was thinking about the they have some nice young players with McKibben and Puig. Surratt does Caleb Surratt things. But Puig is a legit golfer.
By a stare.
By a stare. They got the other guy, Massaway. Yeah, Massaway. Whatever.
They're all a lot of a Spaniard. A lot of them, with Puig, by a stare, Massaway.
But I was thinking last night, is it a realm of possibility that say Liv just keeps going, that they kind of always just have a stable of the most compelling golfers in the world?
What's that mean? Most compelling.
Say Puig, one of these guys hits McKibben or Puig or Ballester or Massaway or Surratt. One of them hit and becomes really good. Like, are we going to continue on this period of time where half of the most 10 interesting players are on Live?
Would you say they have half of the 10 most interesting now? Brooks, Rahm,
Close.
Bryson.
Brooks, Rahm, Bryson is, big three.
Neiman. I don't know. Yeah, it's.
I mean, Brooks is interesting. I don't know that he's like in his prime. Sorry, Peach, but I need to see it a little bit more after. He was played a little better recently, but God, what a bad year.
I had a couple years. Did you guys see the Cam Smith quotes?
He's just lost in the sauce. Missed the cut at the Australian PGA.
This guy, when he signed with Liv, we thought he might be the best player in the world, and now he can't make the cut at the Australian PGA. And people miss cuts. I get that. He's just missed a lot of cuts lately.
Yeah. Puig, it feels like a proper, real guy, not just I don't know if he's going to win multiple majors, but like a long-term, steady, legit pro that will stick around on whatever tour he's at. What the ceiling is, that's a separate subject. I think when you talk about Liv, obviously it gets they kind of have to bat 500 or more when they do these things, right? And the PGA Tour, especially with the Americans, they're all gonna, for right now, they all seem just funneling through the typical pathway to the PGA Tour. And I don't know. If they're going to get a bunch of young Spaniards, that's one thing. But if they start getting a more diverse cross-cut youth, that's something else. So
I just would say the other name we forgot to mention, Tyrrell Hatton. I think he's one of the 10 most interesting players in the game of golf. But if they just, I would say that they have some of the most interesting European talent, international young players. If they keep picking off good international young players, it is definitely, I think, a sound strategy for them.
They seem to do quite well in Australia. I mean, it was about this time last year. Neiman went down there and did quite well for himself when he needed to. And so, I'm in on Puig. I really think he's a fascinating, legit.
Rips it.
Yeah, legit prospect relative to some of the others that get the shine. Congrats to him for his win. Do we have anything else?
Puig was out there ripping it, and then we had a guy that was just trying to get it done in a completely different way, batting it around.
squaring up, maybe occasionally, just trying to
moving base runners,
move from first to third, sacrifice outs, do what he needs to do.
Mark Leishman, I'd love to see the big first baseman out there.
We're on to Royal Melbourne, the Australian Open. We also have the Hero World Challenge. So we're going to take a break from Year in Review to talk about those notable golf events on Wednesday and Friday and next Monday. But we're back to Year in Review this week. Do you have anything else from the weekend? Did you watch Skins game? I don't know that we need a massive debrief on the Skins game. That was the other golf event.
I woke up and said text about the Skins game from you. You were locked in, huh?
What did I text you? I don't even remember.
I don't remember either. But I rolled out of bed and turned it on.
I was in and out. I think like the thing you and others have brought up repeatedly is I think asking people to sit there for 4-5 hours on this just can't be the way for these kinds of events. I get that there are spoilers and there's post-production time and all these factors you have to concern yourself with. I think it's just a big ask on Thanksgiving or Friday after Thanksgiving morning to do 4 hours. Like just post produce it, make it 90 minutes, maybe less. And but I don't know. I was in and out for this very reason because it's Friday after Thanksgiving. So I was in and out. I'm glad I thought it hit on some of the nostalgia plays, but from our youth, I just don't know that it has the same weight because these guys all make so much money doing everything all the time compared to Fred Couples or Arnold Palmer trying to have an annual highest payday of the year Friday after Thanksgiving. So that's it. That's your golf from the weekend. Let's get to Year in Review. We're going to the bullpen here, bringing in our stud reliever. I don't know, PJ, come up with a comp for me while I flail about. But we're going to the bullpen, the stud reliever. We're going in Kevin Van Valkenburg.
Like John Papelbon in his prime, kind of crazy.
Who's the guy for the Padres? Who's the guy for the Padres?
Mason Miller. Yeah, you loved Mason Miller.
I mean, I honestly, when he pitched against the Cubs, I was like, I don't know how anybody ever hits this guy.
Nobody does. It's kind of his thing.
And about a year ago, I would have said Emmanuel Clase, but that fell off quick. So not Emmanuel Clase, but someone better. We're bringing in Kevin Van Valkenburg. He has Phoenix Open, Year Review. This is part 3. Released parts 1 and 2 over the break of Thanksgiving, Wednesday and Friday. Again, we rotate events. We go from one to the next. Other people come in cold. So for this one, Kevin did research on Phoenix Open. Kevin, take it away. This is your maiden voyage on Year in Review. So you have a different process. We didn't give you a tutorial on how to do it. So you have a wide berth there.
A bit nervous. What I've learned at the Friday Egg is there's really no instructions. No one tells you to do anything. You just kind of figure it out on your own. There is no onboarding. You just turned loose. Yeah, guys, it's WM week. I was just curious a little bit. I was wondering when it got named the WM and dropped with Waste Management. Turns out it was like 2022. So it's not like this was news to me. They back in 22, they released a 10-minute video explaining their decision to change it to the WM Open. Just was fascinated by who would sit through a 10-minute video on why Waste Management was now being called WN, or how long it took to produce a 10-minute video and how many different people had to sign off on it. Anyway, first, before we get to WM,
hold on. They were way ahead of the game with the get rid of the vowels.
It's true.
I mean, it's branded marketing people. That's why you end up with a 10-minute video. Is there's too many people with too many jobs. Is what Aberdeen. We're going to Aberdeen Scottish Open. I mean, I don't know. That's how you end up with that. You guys know. Quick digression. Can't make this 5-hour podcast.
I've budgeted for 2.5 hours.
WM sponsors that as a troll because the biggest other waste management or trash company is like a mile away from TPC Scottsdale. It's like Republic Waste Services. It's like this is like the Nike and Adidas of trash men or trash companies. And WM came in and like, we're going to sponsor this right in your own backyard. And now it's like ubiquitous, So
wow.
Anyways, Go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Before we get to the WN, the Pebble ratings are in, and 3.31 million people watched Rory win the Pebble Beach. Seemed like a sort of uplifting moment for the PGA Tour. Everything is fine. All is well. Definitely, Rory is in a good mood and will not be feuding at all with any of the media for the rest of the year. But switching over to the TGL, we find out this is, we're like 4 matches into the TGL season now. And we find out that gravity does not exist in the TGL world. The laws of gravity have been suspended because in the match against LA versus the Bullfrogs, several balls stop on sort of slanted things here. Brendan is apoplectic about how absurd this is, that the ball, or Andy has said that the Velcro like act has pulled the ball to stop from going into the hazard, and then of course you get to hit off a flat lie on the very next thing, which is revealing some fundamental flaws in the TGL universe. This is also the introduction of the ball frauds, but the sort of saying here, because the Bullfrogs are 0-4. They fall to LA. It just basically they get wiped out to where singles aren't even relevant in this match that happens earlier in this week. But some fun things from that. We're also introduced into the invalid reading thing, where you hit a ball at a thing and it's just like, sorry, invalid. We're gonna have to replay this, do it over. Yeah. So the ball frauds are part of a lot of sort of the reveals of this. Some of the flaws in this. This is also the infamous match where Marty Smith, hey brother, he goes up to ask Colin.
He's been stuck in Oxford, right?
Yes, he has been stuck in Oxford back in real time. But in this moment, he was stuck in the SoFi Dome or whatever. And he was asking Colin Morikawa if he considered all using the hammer in this moment here. And Colin says no, because I said I pulled out my KPMG yardage book to check to see whether I needed it. Decided I not. In Screen Golf, he had his yardage book in his back pocket. The night before, there was the first ever actual decent the match in TGL where Juke beat the Bullfrogs 4-3, and it was sort of a big deal. This is the 4th ever match in TGL history, which Matt Berry has been called an all-timer, which was had some fun with that. Parthu dug through some of the sort of exemptions that were the Phoenix Open was getting. You're doing some real investigative journalism in here that like Ryan Palmer was getting in, Brent Snedeker was getting in, Kevin Kisner was getting in. And you kind of pulled back the threads a bit on basically the 2-year winner exemptions, which were dating back like 5 years. Webb Simpson had not won since 2020, and he might in fact get another exemption into next year's WM. So they sort of learned that you could stack your exemptions. You may not be able to stack discount codes, but you can stack exemptions here in the WM. During this week, our dear friend Lucas Glover goes on the 5 Clubs podcast and just starts giving his opinions on many things. First of all, he says I wish I could tweak it to where signature events didn't exist, to be honest with you. I'm on the record saying I disagree with him, but I'm also not dumb. I know I have to play in them because that's where the most world ranking points are and the most value if you want to play well. The field is not what it was, and that's because of signature events. Lucas has many thoughts on the sort of things in golf. As we've learned, he will continue to make news throughout this year.
I was speaking at an event with I don't want to reveal any sources, but I was speaking to someone about the Lucas Glover show, and they were extremely skeptical if it was going to work, and they were like, I cannot believe that he just comes ready just with a flamethrower every week, ready to go. Like he's like most tour pros, you never know if they're going to be any good. This guy is so good at the radio show because he just brings takes.
I once went up to him when Phil briefly went on his hiatus after his comments to Alan were published, and I think it was at the the event down in Avenel in DC or whatever. I guess it's a Rocket Mortgage Inn or whatever it was. And I was like, hey, can I talk to you about the Phil? I'm kind of writing like a story about, what do people think about, what's going on and just whether, he's sort of stuck his foot in his mouth or whatever. And he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, Kevin, I don't think I'm the right person for this one. I'm going to take a pass. Not a lot of love there from what I could glean. Anyway, later in the same episode, he goes ham on aim point. He does not think that aim point is he basically says that aim point is one of the reasons why we can't finish regular rounds and why the Sunset is not the size of the field. It's aim points. Aim point hadn't statistically helped anybody make more putts. And it's also rude to be up there near the hole, stomping around, figuring out where the break is with your feet. It needs to be banned. So
I love the impersonations we're getting with Kevin now.
A lot of aggregation going on. Some more shotgun start investigative journalism. You guys revealed that prices in the cafeteria at the Moat were going up.
I don't remember that.
The hedge fund folks were getting in there and putting the squeeze on the Latin American, Latino America folks who were just, the VJ Sings were just in there just chowing down.
Oh, that's right.
The calf that no longer we're going to get, $2 quesadillas. They're going to have to pay $5 for a quesadilla. It's just the state of our world. This is also the week, if you remember, that Charlie Hoffman writes an open letter.
What?
He clearly takes a dig at Rory. He said, if we truly care about strengthening our tour, we should be supporting as many PGA Tour events as we can. Many of you keep saying that you want to play fewer events, yet you still find time for TGL, Race to Dubai, and all the other non-PGA Tour events. And that's going to continue regardless of the field size. The best competition happens when the best players go head-to-head in a deep competitive field, not in a small, limited early events that leave deserving players on the outside looking in. The tour was built on open competition where anyone with the game to compete has a chance to prove it against the best. And that's what has made the tour special for generations, and we need to keep pushing for that. So clearly, someone felt a little bit, zinged at this.
He outlined TGL, Race to Dubai, and one other. It's a very specific sort of checklist that it's not many of you. It's one person, open letter with one person.
It could be anybody. It could be Tommy Fleetwood, could be Justin Rose. Who's to say? Could be anybody.
Could be Marco Penci next year.
Could be.
Penci's got to be high on the potential free agent ads for TGL.
I mean, he can move it. He can hit that screen. The ball speed's going to be incredible.
So
Potgieter's got to be at the top.
Yeah, for sure. So the person who this might have been about happens to be playing in a TGL match this week, and as you know, we get some press conferences after the TGL PJ. I believe I have a picture of this here. Mr. Rory McIlroy responds. My favorite thing about this picture here is just the way that Adam Scott and Keegan have to awkwardly stand here while Rory kind of body bags Charlie's whole point. We should do a Rory impression. I promise I'll get to one eventually. It's one that's befuddled me for years.
Yeah.
But he said, I think the thing that he forgot to mention, not even mention Charlie's name, but is the PGA Tour owns 20% of TGL. So he's criticizing his own product. They also own a good chunk of European Tour production. So again, I thought some of the elements were fine. He addressed some issues, but he was criticizing the Aeon Swing 5. Well, he was sixth in that. He talks about having it for the good of the tour, but he's also talking about himself as well. I thought a couple of his thoughts were pointed at me a little bit because the TGL, Race to Dubai, non-PGA Tour events like the showdown that Scotty and I did in December, and I've been vocal about not wanting to play quite as much. So it seemed like it was pointed at me. I think Rory was probably right. But sometimes you just got to write an open letter. Early in my writing career, I found whenever you're truly writer blocked, stuffed up, you can just drop an open letter. That's just a great way to get in there. But
surely,
Adam Scott here being this is fucking awkward. What?
Yeah, that those guys had to stand there at these press conferences and just stare off as Rory turns the guns back on Charlie Tuffman. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
This is also the week that the PGA Tour issues a statement thanking President Donald Trump. We know that golf fans are eagerly anticipating a resolution to negotiations with the Public Investment Fund. And we want to thank President Trump for his interest and longtime support of the game of golf, says a statement from Jay Monahan, Adam Scott, Tiger Woods. We also asked the president to get involved for the good of the game, the good of the country, and for the countries involved. We are grateful that his leadership has brought us closer to a final deal, paving the way for reunification of men's professional golf. And of course, the two tours united just weeks later, right after that. Of course, right?
I got that week coming up.
It's a wild roller coaster week. Stretch, I would say. That's 4 weeks.
Guys, Xander Schauffele is still MIA with a rib injury. Hard at work building the Xander app, I would think. Just in the lab with the engineers, but he has not played as far this season.
What got released this week from Xander?
His new website and his new club, Xander's Club. So if you're interested, I know you're wearing an FEGC hat. We have some competition for hottest club in town because I feel like Xander's Club is scorching right now.
How could it not be just called Club Xander? Why not just flip those things?
Club X.
Yeah.
Well, why did he did this Friday, Black Friday morning? He debuted his new club.
Well, yeah, he's got a sale on his merch and bobbleheads on the website, and it was perfectly timed for the online extravaganza known as the Skins Game. So it was a great marketing opportunity. I did check the app as soon as he posted about Xander's Club on Twitter. Nothing on the app yet.
So the collaboration and synergies have not been.
Team Xander's got to get the website dev and the app dev on the same page.
All right, there we go.
Love it. That's good. Guys, there was a change in Live this week. Could you guess at all what this might have been?
No.
Pat Perez broke the news that players are no longer allowed to wear shorts despite the heat. They are in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Temperatures are in the triple digits, but no players are allowed. He breaks this news on the Fairway to Heaven podcast. They're going to be wearing pants all year.
Who has the Fairway to Heaven? What is that?
I think it's a Live podcast.
Live's
right?
official podcast.
Yeah.
All right.
He said, I got it confirmed the other day. So Pat Perez doing some good journalism.
Got it confirmed. Straight from the top.
Before the WM kicks off, Andy kind of makes an interesting statement. Says, I'm thinking about selling property on just a Guyland. Feels like we need to get out of the market. Feels like Spieth is trending in a good direction. The price has never been higher, Andy says. And now, we can buy some land on Spieth Island and just ride that back up. So who knows? An interesting week. Stay tuned. Andy teases that maybe he's gotten some insider info from some people who know that Jordan never hit it better than he did at Pebble, working it both ways, this and that.
Look where we are now.
Yeah.
This is your own little Sable offshore week where you're just, trying to cook the books, pump and dump. You had a little scheme going this week. All right, go ahead.
Well, I knew I had a big financial boom coming.
Yes.
Because,
Yep.
I don't want to spoil what happened, but there was a dominant win from an Illini.
We'll see. Yeah. Guys, sad news. Tiger Woods' mom, Cotita, passes away this week. Jaime Diaz wrote a really good piece here that I made sure to include in our content cornucopia. It's always nice, I think, when a historical figure passes away, and it's not just 40-something knuckleheads like me haven't been around it forever. It's people who've actually were around for Tiger's prime who can sort of put that into context. So I would encourage you to go check that out. Guys, Liv was also returning this week for their season openers. I said that they can't wear pants because they're in Riyadh. The interesting thing about this is it is at night. We are going to play at night on greens that were basically recently top dressed. It's Andy here. You had a quote said, "It could be a disaster. The greens are impossible to read. This might be the ultimate farce of a win for someone." Also, just noted the Backstreet Boys were brought back to sort of open up the season for Liv.
Yeah.
And they dropped a little video here. I'm going to attempt to do it. Everybody live golf back. All right.
In Riyadh, they're like next to the
Riyadh,
Red
yes.
Sea or something. God, this is bizarre. Yeah.
If you're gonna hire the Backstreet Boys, it's exactly what you want to get. Is
Completely forgot that.
Live golf's back. All right.
Completely forgot about the Backstreet Boys.
No chance.
They were available for a fee. That's right.
There was like a big Backstreet Boy resurgence right around now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like they made a lot of appearances for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Well, they've been doing the Sphere.
Isn't one of them like not with them anymore? Or isn't it just like a foursome? I feel like they maybe dropped a person. Am I just making that up?
I can't say I'm terribly up to date on the Backstreet Boys.
One of the Boys to Men guys, he dropped. There was something, but I think he like had some health issues. That's my shit, Boys to Men. Okay. Guys, Sergio did an interview this week with something called Al Ariba. And in which he said, there's talk of me being the Ryder Cup captain in 27. I would love to be playing still, but there have been talks.
There's talk.
Reminded me of the Arrested Development thing where Tobias is like, people are talking about Tobias. He's hot on the streets. The Qatar Masters is playing this week. And just one brief thing from this. Dean Burmester hits a drive that ends up behind like a 2,000-pound rock. I had a picture of this, but I forgot to get it set to Peach. And he has 7 people come along and do the sort of Tiger thing that did years ago in Phoenix and move the rock. And I would just like to just take this opportunity to say, I think this is the most bullshit rule in golf. I do not think that you should be able to receive like outside help from like 7 people in a gallery. Like if I'm playing by myself at my country club, how do I get 10 people to come help me move a loose impediment? That's horseshit. Anything is a loose impediment if you have enough people. If you get 500 people, you could push an entire mountain over. So it's to me is absolutely absurd that you can get relief from that situation. The WM begins, and guess what? Our guy Jordan Spieth, he rockets up the leaderboard, and he's T3 after 2 days. Gabby Herzig of The Athletic says, I spoke to his coach of 20 years, Cameron McCormick, about how the road to recovery felt. Cameron says, maybe this is Andy Source, I don't know. This is a different Jordan. You got a Jordan Spieth that is living and demonstrating patience and living and demonstrating acceptance. He's been very easy to work with, more easy than most other times in my history coaching with him, and more accepting of this being a process. We'll see if it pays off.
Yep.
This is also the week that was activation week kind of for everybody. I want to get the young kids involved. So Ricky debuts his camo outfit, but of course he withdraws before the second round with an undiagnosed illness. So the camo really doesn't get much of a run.
Wasn't it a real tree Puma collab with all camo? Yeah, yes. I remember that.
So it will only get a little. The aggregators only get a little bit of a chance to.
That's too bad.
If Luke Clanton, makes the cut, he gets enough points in PGA Tour University to get his card. So there's a Clanton cut watch, and he's coming down to the last sort of thing, and ultimately Luke Clanton misses the cut. But this is sort of a reminder about why cuts matter, and we don't want cuts going away. To quote Jeff Shackelford here, Friday's 36-hole cut delivered genuine old-school drama that the players, the commissioners, and the marketing point missers have been working overtime to eradicate. In the name of keeping stars hang around for the weekend when they're going through the motions of a not in contention. Even military-grade morons could have detected the tension and drama delivered by the full field facing a cut. All they had to do was watch amateur Luke Clanton miss an 18th-hole birdie putt. A 3 on the almost drivable par 4 would have vaunted Clanton to the weekend and the PGA Tour status with clinching point in the PGA Tour's accelerated university program, but the 20-footer slid by on the high side, and Clanton was visibly crushed at the lost opportunity. He'll be fine, but in terms of spectating, it delivered. Nice reminder from Jeff there. Nice piece of writing. The military-grade moron caught my attention there. You can always count on Shaq to drop a nuke on someone or something. On Friday, Emmanuel Grillo makes a hole-in-one on the vaunted 16th hole, and the beer comes showering down. It takes 20 minutes to clean up the scene. I'm sure Lucas Glover was not happy with that either, the pace of play situation. But as we get into the final round, this is where Andy, I'm sure, remembers this so well. Jordan Spieth is fighting in contention. He's trailing by 4, but he's in second place, and he drives it right into a bush. And PJ, I did send you the thing of this. What happens? He decides instead of playing unplayable to get his putter out, and then he hits his putter left-handed. The ball dribbles down, not quite into the fairway, but then from 125 yards, he gets up and down for par. Absolutely one of the best pars of the year. The backward-handed putter. Jordan does end up finishing 4th, but some signs that just a Guyland might be a good place to buy some real estate.
Well, the prices are back up on Just Island. You want to buy if you're trying to buy cheap real estate, you just buy it on Spieth Island.
This was the time to buy on Just Island. I will say this happened like an hour before the Super Bowl, this whole photo experience here. And I remember this is the peak, I think, at least recently, of Spieth is Spiething. Spieth is happening. Joseph Lamagna's favorite term. Everybody losing their minds whenever Jordan Spieth finds himself.
What's Joseph's exact take, PJ, on the
Spiething is just when he's wildly out of position and hit a bad shot. It's like, it's not a good thing. He's just out there somewhere.
What a hater. You think a fellow Texas guy would stick up for a Texan like Jordan Spieth?
You know, I think Joseph and I are on similar wavelengths. You know, we share similar LeBron feelings, similar Jordan Spieth beliefs.
Guys, a lot of talk that Scotty was going to have things in perspective. The hand injury when making ravioli in the offseason, career flashes before his eyes. Scotty came back and was fucking pissed much of this tournament. I don't know if you remember, but an 18, he wraps up on Sunday, and he just absolutely like tomahawks the shit out of his bag like 3 times with his wedge. Probably the most angry you'd seen Scotty like all year. And his bag falls over, sort of crashes to the ground, and he has to kind of like awkwardly pick it back up and stand it up. So not really happy with his play throughout this, even though I think he finished in like 9th. Peppy Peter chips in back-to-back holes. Remember this? He's got his little yellow ball. It's like he chips in on 16 and 17. It's like watching someone go ham and putt. This is incredible. And guess what? Michael Kim finishes in a tie for second. Michael Kim hadn't been seen or heard from in a while. Afterwards, Michael Kim takes to Twitter, as he often does, to sort of unpack some things. He says, after listening to the NLU pod with Joe Mayo, I reached out to him and asked for a chipping lesson. I had one of the shallowest angle of attacks on tour, and we steepened it up some. We went from about -3 to -7-ish. It wasn't too complicated, and a lot of setup work and club working way more vertical. This week with the overseated rye, it's very forgiving, made the change very comfortable, blah, blah, blah. That better contact would lead to better distance control as one of the key reasons why I was able to go bogey-free for 57 holes. I was 9th in the week around strokes around the greens. I'm going to keep at it. I just want to point out, I was the one who got Joe Mayo to come on the NLU podcast. I was the one who dragged him into the light. Now Joe's doing a lot more podcasts now, but back then he hadn't quite done a lot of podcasts. It was basically me convincing him to come out of hiding and start talking shit about everything. So this paid out like $818,000. Michael, if you were listening, I feel like you should at least be picking up a dinner in my future here for dragging Joe out of the things there. Weirdly, Michael Kim was also like changing his driver settings on the way to the first tee. He's like hitting it so bad on the range that he just got the crank out and just started whipping it together. Porath knows I did that once when we played at Caves Valley. Just was whipping the crank out and then driving it like a machine. The story of the week, of course, though, is Thomas Dietrich, Illinois alum, who won the WM going away.
Superstar.
Yeah, going away by 7 strokes. First ever winner from Belgium. Went 65-65 over the weekend. Andy surmised afterwards that he was probably going to be a Ryder Cupper. I hope Luke Donald is watching this, and he said this should count as double Ryder Cup points.
Oh my God. Get out of here.
A lot of peacocking by Andy here. He points out that the Illinois golf program.
Man, we sure are spitballing, aren't we, Rich?
He points out the Illinois golf program now has more wins this year than the University of Texas, Alabama, Oklahoma State, Florida, FSU, Vandy, Auburn, Arizona State combined. It would be 3 more months.
Hey, I'm just using the data. I was just using the data that was out there at the time.
It was Illinois and Georgia for a long time. It was just the two of them fighting back and forth for the top spot.
Because we got illustrious winners like Brian Campbell.
God.
Unfortunately, Thomas Dietrich did not make the Ryder Cup team. In fact, it would be 3 more months before he ended up with another top 25. Brutal.
Yeah, he kind of fell off hard.
Oh, he'll be back. Adair Manor. He'll be ready to go.
And Sergio.
Sergio will be a captain. And
That's right.
Just a lot of talk this week about activations. I just want to quote Porath here. We're talking about Ricky and Jason Day's activations, like just kind of the bafflement of as to why basically wearing weird clothes makes you more interesting. Brendan saying you could be the biggest dial tone in the world, and if you wear something crazy, people would be like, "Oh, what a legend!"
We do sort of just say like, "Oh, he's got style, counterculture." But
the clique's Adrian Moronk wins in Dubai. Quote Jeff Shackelford here. Adrian Moronk won what was quite possibly the worst looking, most dystopian, nightmarish excuse for a golf tournament ever contested. The 31-year-old from Poland went wire to wire and finished 17 under par, 2 clear of John Rahm and Sebastian Munoz. The Live season's opener was contested under the lights and in front of almost no galleries each day. The greens at the refulgent Riyadh Golf Club appeared largely unputtable due to turf and top dressing issues. Balls would roll to a stop, then settle into a nice cabbage gap. And Shackelford says, "Dear HE, please tell the Crown Prince to resist decapitating the greenskeeper. It could be a subsurface issue or your own hellish climate and generally crappy karma." The good news for Liv, or even the USGA, who mysteriously validated the circuit last week with exemptions while playing for the 54-hole in these garbage fests, despite playing a clunker like at Air Riyadh Cabbage Patch cutting crap fest with lowly Anthony Kim battling against Kevin Na for last place. No one watched, which is correct. The first round, the viewers, the viewership came out later, and 12,000 people.
It's insane.
Watching theirs, despite it being on FS2.
Oh, this is my favorite. 12,000 people.
The big Colton Noss decided to get in a little dig during the WM, basically saying there were more people, twice as many people around the 16th hole, 24,000 than watched Live over the weekend on FS2. Guys, during the WM, just a few notes here. Mav McNeely hit a 360-yard drive on the 15th hole. This prompted a rant from Andy about we are clearly in the fucking steroid era of golf, and one day we will look back and say, what the hell were we thinking? James Fish, the CEO of WM, got not one but 2 trips to the booth. And I'm sure the people out there were just clamoring for more James Fish. Just a few others. Hao Tong Lee won the Qatar Masters. Not really much to give a shit there. Yulimi No won the Founders Cup. And then in New Zealand, Josh Geary won the Vic Open despite shooting 78 in the final round because it was blowing like 40 miles an hour the entire day. Sue O won the women's portion. And just one note of that tournament, Cade McBride shot 62 in the first round. Was the solo leader by 2. And he shot 89 in the fourth.
I remember this.
Tied for DFL.
62-89 in the same tournament. It's kind of crazy.
Not really much else to note. The Super Bowl always looming over this. I just enjoyed the heck out of this exchange. You guys were talking, and you, Brendan, you said to Andy, did you get some wings? And Andy said, no, I'm making Italian beef. None of my neighbors have ever had Italian beef. And Brendan said, "Oh, are you having a little get together?" And he said, "No." And Brendan said, "Well, are you bringing some people over?" And he said, "No, they've just never had any Italian beef." Andy, I think you owe your neighbors some Italian beef at some point. It's nice to know that they've never had it, but you're not willing to share.
I feel like this was also the first Super Bowl that we were done recording in time for the Super Bowl to start, and maybe the history of this podcast.
Dietrich being up like 3 or 4, we kind of just hit the record button.
We went live. It was America's pregame show.
Oh my God. Live against the Super Bowl.
America's pregame show. We were done like 15 minutes before the game started. It was great.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We're gonna go live again. We aren't afraid of the Super Bowl. My issue.
You might be at
the Bears might be in the Super Bowl, and it's San Francisco Super Bowl. I might be at the game. You know?
Yeah.
God, that sounds great.
Amazing. That'd be so good. All right.
What's more likely, the Bears make the Super Bowl or the Bears miss the playoffs?
At this point, making the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You're not going to miss the playoffs. You play the Browns, you're going to get 10 wins for sure.
Rams lost to the
Panthers
today, Andy. I mean, everything's wide open.
Yeah.
PJ wants to zag. I see it.
I don't think you're going to miss the playoffs, but I do have a lot of questions about what happens once you get there.
Yes, right. That's a separate.
Well, that's
not the question.
Listen, our coach says this: we take it one game at a time. We're not worried about the playoffs. We got a long time till there. We're just worried about the Packers.
Good. All right. KVV, is that it for Phoenix Open? Don't want to cut you off here.
That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure I missed some tweets, missed some fun things, but
that was a good one. That was some good recall. You will be back intermittently joining us for some majors and some other events. I think your next event's the Valspar. So
hell yeah.
Maybe the players. I can't remember, but you are part of the year interview this year. So thank you for contributions. You do not need to wait around here as we go ham on the rest of the West Coast and the Florida swing. So thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it.
Good, better, best for me in the future.
Good, better, best. Think about that.
Some country bro is now wielding influence over the Bears' future. All right, let's go to the Genesis Invitational. We're going from Phoenix to back to Torrey Pines. So, what is typically like this an incredible week, highlight week, LA market, Riviera, best field of the year, is kind of muted for obvious reasons. You had the fires around Riviera that moved it back to Torrey Pines. Tiger's mom had just passed away. Everyone's like, Tiger's still going to play. It's his first event of the year. Everyone's excited. Well, he drops Monday. I plan to tee it up this week. I'm not ready. I did my best to prepare, knowing it's what my mom would have wanted, but I'm still processing her loss. We would learn like a couple weeks later, he was like, he had to do TGL. And like, it's like, I'm just like, not practicing. My mind is not right, but he's like, they're kind of making him do TGL. He doesn't play the players because his mom died. So the week starts kind of on a somber note for an event that we're usually very fired up for. Tiger does end up flying west to get in the booth by the end of the week. And he says he's planning to, quote, play more in 2025 and will appear at some, quote, big events. That did not happen. He'd obviously get the Achilles heel week of the players, and that was it. Feels like we kind of do that song and dance the Q1 a lot with him. Also in that booth appearance at Torrey Pines, he said significant progress is being made to reunify pro golf, adding that additional meetings with President Trump are planned, and says they could see professional tours playing together, quote, very soon. Now, Tiger is generally just a dial tone, right? Cliche fest, swing feels good. I like my chances, that kind of stuff. And so this was like a real sort of flag up moment of Tiger always plays it close to the vest or always kind of hems and haws, never gives you anything, saying the tours could be playing together very soon. And everybody's like, oh my God, we're on the 1 yard line. Or we're already in the end zone. We're just kicking the extra point. And so that was a big thing. Like, oh, this is about to be over, and we're getting together here. So that was a massive thing, a massive little Easter egg that Tiger rarely lays for people. At Torrey, there are rough videos early on. They didn't cut it, I guess, or much from whatever the FIO, and it's raining. It's awful weather. It's cold and windy, and like ample rough videos. So many rough videos. Like this is death this week. Of course. I'll get to Joseph's writing by the final round. Like Matt McNeely missed like 8 of 11 fairways and was like 5 under going to win it. Like as Torrey, it's safe to play. It's not a death penalty to go in the rough. It's just safe to play. Miss the fairway sometimes is the better miss than going into a canyon. Also, talking about the deal, the reunification. Rex Hoggard reported the tour and PAF have come to terms on the financials surrounding a deal. and have presented as many as 4 different options for the DOJ to consider. Deal expected this quarter. Rex said this on their podcast. That was like that. Rex is a good reporter. That was absolutely probably the state of play. To come to terms on the financials. Deal expected this quarter. So Monahan then flies west, I believe, talks to the press. We weren't included. Little gaggle of reporters, handpicked at the Farmers. He told the media his meeting with Trump was, quote, a productive visit. Quote, the game of golf is operating under one tour with all the top players playing on one tour is what the goal is. One tour, a lot of one tour talk, which would mean implies the death of Live, right? Or everybody's playing together. When asked if that meant the end of Live Golf, Monahan referred to, quote, the reunification of the game. Ambiguous, but not really. Quote, I think if you solve things, if we respond to what our fans are telling us, we put together the strongest possible schedule and product, that will resolve itself. He's citing fan forward survey data as like a reason to reunify the game. And this is Harbinger. I don't think you're ever close until you're finalized. That turned out to be damn true. I would say this, everything is moving forward with pace. And I think there's a general, when you look at all the parties involved, there's a general enthusiasm for getting this done. This was also the week Rory had played recently with President Trump. And he reveals Trump is, maybe not the biggest fan of Live or the format. So the president, he can do a lot of things, McElroy said. He has direct access to Yasser's boss, MBS. Not many people have that. Not many people can say, I want you to get this deal done. And by the way, I'm speaking to your boss. I'm going to tell him the same thing. When asked, though, about crossover play between Live and the Tour, Rory said, I hope not. But when talked about playing with golf with Trump, he said, it was great. I thought we had a good discussion. I learned that he's not a fan of the Live format. I was like, but you've hosted their events. He was like, yeah, but it doesn't mean that I like it. So I think he's on the Tour's side. So this just feels like, there's reports that come out about Liv's staggering losses and Liv's ratings in Riyadh, and the Tour is open to doing deals, and the Trump is allegedly on the Tour's side, quote unquote, and we're moving towards a deal. We're getting there. This is a Money in Sport article, I believe, had via their UK operating arm that the end of 2025, their losses are estimated to be $5 billion US. So. We'll see if that accounting came to fruition here at the end of the year. Colin Morikawa comes to the plate after Lucas Glover, as KVV just was spouting off about aim point the week before. And Morikawa says, I have nothing against Lucas, but for banning aim point, I think we should ban lawn putters as well. Boom.
This so petty.
This
just going right.
There we go.
Right after the
there we go. Which, of course, is kind of a non sequitur because Lucas's point was about pace of play. And that just doesn't, okay, ban them all, but that's not the reason why you ban the lawn putter for pace of play. He also, so slow play was super hot this time of year. Like we had the Dottie Pepper soliloquy, the pace at Amex was a disaster, 5.5, 6 hours. And Morikawa blamed the broadcast a little bit for pace of play issues. I realize they're complaining about slow play, but if you showed them more shots, the fans, I don't think they would complain about the slow play. How would they know if it's slow play or not if they're seeing more shots in general in the window of coverage? Well, I mean, it's a fair point. He's thinking about the big picture issues. That kind of goes down the drain on the weekends, though, which is where some of this was happening, where, there's only so many guys on the course that matter. Rory also had some quotes about making more money on the PGA Tour. And he said, look, I'm making a lot more money than I did in 2019. That's due to Live. That's the fact of the matter. I make more money now because of that. He also says he would be welcoming back to the big guys, the top stars, if they reunify, which is allegedly about to happen. There are guys that were on the PGA Tour that went to play on Live, and if they still have status, sure, come back and play. Like for us, they've all got equity in this tour. Having Bryson DeChambeau come back and play on this tour is good. So for the equity holders who stayed loyal, having a talent like Bryson is good. Just have him come back. This didn't go well with everybody. Just welcome him back. Open the gates. Posture Rory took. He also said about the hard feelings people said. I think everyone's just got to get over it. And we all have to say, okay, this is a starting point. We move forward. We don't look behind us. We don't look to the past. Whatever's happened has happened. It's been unfortunate, but reunification, how we come back together and move forward, that's the best thing for everyone. If people are butthurt or have their feelings hurt because guys went or whatever, like, who cares? Let's move forward together and let's try to get this thing going again and do what's best for the game. So between that, get over it and welcome them back. Kind of ruffle some feathers coming from, and I make a lot more money.
Feathers.
One of them was Johnson Wagner, who went on Golf Channel and had this viral sort of soliloquy. Did I send this to you, PJ? Did I drop this in? I may not have dropped this in for an asset. But so he's on Golf Channel. This caused kind of a tizzy. This is Johnson. The fact that he's saying we all benefited, he's just seeing things from a finite perspective, from his perspective. You know who hasn't benefited since all these things have gone on? The sponsors who pay all the bills. TV is down. Everything is down. Yet they are being asked to pay more money. So good for you. I'm glad you're making more money than you were in 19, which was a ton of money. Also, he's telling everyone to get over it. Rory has said a lot of things over the past couple of seasons that have rubbed people, a lot of the players, the wrong way. Now he wants everyone to get over it. He's pushing for a small world tour. He's trying to get his way in every way. I'm a huge fan of Rory, but he's just angering me right now. Like Johnson does this thing where he's like shaking his fist. He's just really angering me right now. So that was like the big news of the week before play actually started. PJ, stay on me. Make sure I have my assets here if I'm missing anything. Daniel Berger had a good one on sponsors exemptions. He got in via the Aon Swing 5. He's in the Genesis. Because I asked for a sponsor exemption into Pebble Beach, where the last time I played, I won it. And 2 years in a row, I didn't get that exemption. So it was kind of a little chip on my shoulder to get it done without needing anyone's help. So he gets in via the Aon 5. I don't know. Not getting his Pebble. They had those spots for other people. This was big. Josh Carpenter reports that the tour is relaxing their DMCA rules. That did not happen. They said that
they got us on YouTube.
They did. They got us for part one. And do you want to know what it was for? I know Andy knows what it was for. Did you look to see what it was for? I almost texted you, but I'm glad we're doing this happened. They got us
for the Wednesday.
From Wednesday for the stupid ass drone video that apparently they put on YouTube and have monetized themselves
through their new $1 billion studio.
Yeah,
flying around.
The 5-second clip we used of Jay in the room with all of the light panels around.
Was that a tweet or was that we used the video? Did we clip the video?
That was a tweet with the video embedded in it. So they're really.
There's got to be a fair use here.
I mean, rights are rights, but so they immediately DMCA like a Tom Kim slow play video that was put on Twitter, that was like the same day week that they're saying they're relaxing DMCA rules. It's just like it's like, all right, well that got pulled. Like it was just incredible. RNA USGA. The RNA follows the USGA's lead, announces a qualification pathway for Live Golf for the Open Championship. It's announced TaylorMade and DJ have parted ways. Longtime partner, like I think is basically his entire career. DJ was a TaylorMade guy. Live ratings talk goes hot, gets just big stuff. James Colgan, they had 19,000 was the average viewers across FS1 and 2 for the entire weekend. That's from James Colgan. So that gets hot. A lot of people on the Live side asking for the source of this data. Is this certified? These are anti-Live numbers. 54,000 for the final round, 31,000 for the conclusion under the lights. Not jumbo numbers. Still a lot of ratings chat. We would get much better numbers later in the week for Live Adelaide. LPGA,
I think they did like 120 per like across platforms for Adelaide.
Yeah, in the U.S. Their numbers in Australia were good. The ones in the U.S. were not great. LPGA has a new pace of play policy where they start fining you, and then strokes if you're like 15 seconds over. This is hailed as long as they can enforce it. Like it happened quickly. A lot of complaining end of 24, and they put in play pretty early in 25. PJ gets on the hunt for Zach Johnson. Apparently, there's an eBay bonanza of Zach Johnson tour worn memorabilia. I forgot about that.
I looked really hard in like my saved eBay listings, and I could not find. I could not find.
It's like a medium Zach Johnson shirt worn at the 2000 24 John Deere or even earlier. You found that just somebody was selling all the Zach Johnson tour worn memorabilia. Let's get to Farmers Insurance. Ludwig birdies the 18th to steal the Genesis Invitational by one shot over Maverick McNeely, who is your clubhouse leader. Here's Lamagna in our newsletter. After we got all that rough, is the penalty, stay out of the rough. Through 11 holes on Sunday, McNeely was 8 under at Torrey Pines, and he hit only 3 fairways. So again, the lawn rough is not necessarily the penalty. Torrey Pines course is notorious for its knee-high rough, where, according to some people, quote, you absolutely must find the fairway. Now, don't get me wrong, being in the fairway is advantageous, but the problem becomes leaping to the conclusion that accuracy is tested because the rough is thick. So some great writing from Joseph. I'll say, in my research, our newsletter is like, excluding myself, our newsletter is kicking ass. It's been very good reading our newsletter back. Between Lamagna,
I second that.
This time, around this
I'm
time,
never in there, so, I can say that.
A Garrett Morrison article on restoration that was lengthy. Newsletter's growing and thriving, and nobody's putting the time, effort, and quality. I would say there are good newsletters. I don't want to say nobody, but there's a lot of time, effort, and quality going into this one. That was good writing from Joseph. Subscribe to the Friday newsletter. He had a statement win, felt long and overdue, and dispelled the odd narrative that Aberg lacks the skill or tenacity to win a significant golf tournament, which I find, discrediting the RSM win, I suppose.
How, he's got all of his driver assist systems.
Now he's on the right path, winning the Genesis Invitational. This week, Scheffler shot 76, and people were like, he's broken. He shot 76 on Saturday. It's like his worst round in 3 years. Is he broken? Rory had like an incredible week off the tee and his worst putting weekend in like decade. And decade lost 7 strokes on the weekend, 3.9 on Saturday. He was just like missing everything, but played like really well tee to green. But he and Scotty played together and weren't their best. Justin Thomas gets back in the top 10 in the world for the first time in 2 years with a solid showing. I didn't realize he had not been in the top 10 in 2 years before, February 25. Playing through had some issues, not as big as some of the other ones that would come, but they missed a Rory McIlroy chip in. So they didn't show his ball actually going in because they were zipping around to playing through, and people got on him about that. Jim Nantz has some spitting hot fire for aim point. He's quote during the broadcast, that's not a new dance step he's doing there, turning around, spinning around a couple times. That's aim point. So he was accusing someone of dancing up on the green.
Aim point drama hit a fever pitch in my week.
Pace play, aim point. Oh yeah. Andy was worked up about on the broadcast about, I live for the Aon Better Decisions graphics. Today I learned it's better to hit the fairway than the rough and better to hit greens than miss them. So they put like red around like the ocean or the canyon, like don't hit it here, and then green in the middle of the fairway. You're like, I live for the Aon Better Decisions graphics. Always a fun one. So Ludwig wins at the kind of a muted Genesis Invitational. Let's get to Live Adelaide. I believe I have a bonanza of assets for this, PJ. I'll start by saying Blandy was favored over DJ in head-to-head. And we were just like, you tweeted like 5 years ago, no one knew who Dick Bland was, and DJ was the greatest player of his generation. And Blandy beat him by 8 shots.
And Blandy's 53 or whatever.
Yes. And Lamagna brought this up, and we were just like, what? Head-to-head, favored against DJ, and he beat him by 8 shots. Also this week, Live Golf's Cleeks announced a partnership with a fashion designer to produce a $4,800 weekend bag. It's $4,800 with, what's the guy's name? Martin Key. And there's all these photos of Keimer walking with his bag and Marunk. It's a $4,800 leather weekend bag. Cleeks branded. So they got that. There was Patrick Reed makes an ace on the watering hole. And Patrick Reed, he has some good celebrations. Of course, he's trying to react to basically getting pelted with beer and water. It is Patrick Reed. And then you got Arlo on the call suggesting, that we've just seen the greatest sport achievement of all time. PJ, do you have this one?
Dude, early, the crowd at 12, and it just gets a little more encouraging, shall we say, as the day goes on.
Oh,
goodness me! Patrick Reed, you little beauty!
Little bit.
Well, that didn't take long.
All right. That's
An ace!
So he's getting pelted. Arlo, that's the moment for Arlo to do those Arlo things. The ones where like a guy makes a 5-footer with absolutely stupendous is another question.
Crossing the Rubicon.
Yeah, right. That kind of stuff. This is also the week where we get introduced to Scott O'Neill. All right. So Scott O'Neill's, who is this guy? Mysterious fella. He's coming over. Greg Norman's out. What's the deal with Scott O'Neill? And so he's put front and center. And we learned that Live Adelaide was 44% of its non-U.S. revenue. Like Live Adelaide's doing well. We had all those money numbers. It lost it's going to lose $5 billion. But he also got over his skis on a couple things. PJ, do you want to play a few quotes? He joins the broadcast. His big unveiling, the new CEO, Scott O'Neill.
And it's no secret that we love this event, that it's the signature event on the LIV calendar. The players absolutely love it. The staff, the team absolutely think it is the best of the best. And the world has voted this the greatest golf tournament in the world 2 years in a row. And after being here, I think we got a third one coming.
Yeah.
The world has voted this the greatest golf tournament in the world. Who? What? The world? Who voted? Where and what? So he lets that one rip. Then he's with Arlo and Faraday and others, and he has a quote about the leaderboard. PJ,
you have a public-private partnership. You have corporate support. You have fans that want it, and you don't have to look too far past our leaderboard to know that outside of the majors, if you want to see the best players in the world, there's only one place to see it, and that's at LIV.
Outside of the majors, there's this incredible pregnant pause there by Faraday. He's almost like gobsmacked at the quote himself. He's like, outside of the majors, if you want to see the best players in the world, you can only see it at LIV. Like, all right, well, so we have a Norman type bravado strolling in with Scott O'Neill. He also compared Aussies to you walk into a pub or hotel. He said it's like Texas meets California vibe. That's how he described Aussies. Texas blend California. I don't know. We need to audit that one.
That's what I always say Arizona is.
Oh, that's an interesting one. A mix cocktail of
yeah.
Well,
it's like a blend of Dallas and LA.
That's fair. He says Australia is that. So talking about Team Ripper. We also learned he wrote a book, Be Where Your Feet Are, 7 Principles to Keep You Present, Grounded, and Thriving. So he's big into business speak, mumbo jumbo. And so he did say, I'm excited about the PGA Tour PIF agreement. I think that right now we are going to the moon and back. I don't know what that means, the moon and back. And I hope that'll help as an accelerant. But I'm very confident where we are in this business and the interest we have currently. Talked a lot about PIF is a sovereign wealth fund of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And they're likely to make an investment into PGA Tour Enterprises, a new structure that a collection of U.S. investors invested in. For us at LIV, though, we are hoping that unlocks opportunity. Speaking about Australia, the conditions, it's just insane. A little sun, a little heat, a little wind, a little rain, a little cold. I think they're like the U.S. Postal Service a bit. They just keep on chugging. The only time you hear a complaint is when they miss a putt. That's it. Nobody understands what this means. He compares it to the U.S. Postal Service about how there's heat, sun, wind, rain, cold. It was a very bizarre analogy. He's like, who is this guy? He says about his is coming up, his first, couple months on the job. He says, it's been a short 40 days here. I grew up in New York. If you haven't been able to tell so far by my funny accent, he doesn't really have a New York accent. But the state motto is Excelsior, which means kind of onwards and upwards. And everybody's just like, what is this guy talking about? He's making U.S. Postal Service analogies, talking about the state motto being Excelsior. and we're on the onward and upward to the moon and back. So now he's in the crosshairs. Like, all right, this guy might be kind of a bozo. This was the big unveiling for Scott O'Neill, the best golfers in the world outside of the majors. Mav McNeely said pace of play can be fixed if you just do twosomes. He wants a 60-man cut. He said this is what you need on the weekend. Everybody's bitching about pace of play. We want to get more cutthroat. Twosomes is the entire deal. We're playing threesomes to fit a TV window this time of year. The TV window is dictating the pace of play, and that's why we play in threesomes. Just make it twosomes and make a stricter cut. At the Chubb Classic, we have a spread watch. After one round, it's 28. 28 after one round. This individual, Michael Ballier, shot 21 over. I believe he went like 90-something. I think he's the teaching pro down there in the Naples area and gets an exemption into a 78-man field. It's kind of insane. And Paul Stankowski shot 7 under, and Ballier was 21 over, 90-something. That's their Chubb Classic. We got new hammer rules. Just making it up on the fly.
All the season-long bettors.
I mean, they're encouraging people to bet on a thing they could just decide to change with the tweet. Hey, new hammers now. We're gonna do three hammers. I don't even remember what the old one was.
This got introduced this week, and then going to the next week, Tony Finau got signed to a one match contract.
Oh, believe me, I have that covered.
Right. That's right. I forgot about that. We got new hammer rules. Bryson, there's full swing season 3 trailer drops, and there's a report that Bryson did not sit for it. It's just all footage from Pinehurst. So people are worked up about that. How can you do this without Bryson? Non-golf, PJ claims he wants Justin Fields. He's ready for Justin Fields. He said, go sign him. Sign him right now. Okay. Sharing highlights of his Ohio State 6 TD game. How the tables have turned on that.
I would like to just get out in front of this. I always wanted Aaron Rodgers. Nobody could ever dispute that.
But you were advocating for Justin Fields. You wanted him.
It became apparent that once they cut Aaron Rodgers, which is what this tweet is, that Justin Fields was the best available option.
Was he? Was he the best available option?
At this point, that was the foregone conclusion that they wanted Justin Fields. Jacoby Brissett.
Danny Dimes.
Any number of guys. I mean, Tyrod was already on the team.
You've got receipts here. Advocated. Tyrod won the day.
Tyrod, it's Victory Monday.
It was not Victory Monday for Andy and his Illini, as this was the infamous weekend. Terrence Shannon's jersey in the rafters was loaded in upside down. This is an all-time sports moment. I don't know. You got one job. Make sure the jersey's right on the rope.
It still looks photoshopped. It still does not look real.
It's just an incredible bit from the weekend. I think that does it for this Genesis Invitational. Sort of a muted one, as I said, but that's your Ludwig is your winner, and then Live Adelaide. Did I say Joaquin Neiman won Live Adelaide? It's like this guy's made $43 million already on Live. Next stop, top 10 in a major. So, all right, that's it. Genesis week.
All right, on to Mexico. Maybe the event of the year. Maybe the Sunday of the year.
It was awesome.
Awesome. But before we get to Mexico, we had one of the other most important events of the year, the TGL triple header on President's Day.
What I expected, President's Day. President's Day would just be a good day to rest and sleep in if you didn't have a triple header. And one way you could do that for this President's Day or any day would be go to lagoonsleep.com/SGS. Black Friday has started and it's ongoing. They have $25 off every pillow. This is a premium, top of the line pillow. And if you go to lagoonsleep.com/SGS, you get $25 off with their Black Friday deal. You get $160 off 4 pillows. Maybe you just want Lagoon Sleep for everyone. You can take a personalized quiz and they tell you which pillow is best for you. We've all gotten the Otter. I think it's preferred for side sleepers, but they'll dial it in for you. And you go to lagoonsleep.com, 2-minute quiz, lagoonsleep.com/SGS, $25 off. Right now, it's still ongoing, and get dialed in so your sleep is ready for any rest. President's Day, hibernation that comes. during the winter months, we'll get you dialed at lagoonsleep.com/SGS. All right, go ahead. Your triple header. And that's SoFi.
All right. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but you guys did a live blog.
That's right.
So I'm gonna read some excerpts from you, Joseph, Will, and PJ.
We were cooking.
You guys, you were cooking. All right, 1:43 p.m. Eastern. There seems to be some real issues with the sim today. Patrick Cantlay struggled to not wear it on his face. He airmailed the green by some 15 yards on the first hole. Then he was absolutely sure he had a draw teeing off on the second hole, and the ball flared right into the water. JT added that it looks like an absolute draw. Then he hit another approach way right, and there was some hot mic huddle over near the ATL where they said something was exaggerated today and that everything was going right. The player seems completely unconvinced of the readings they're getting. JT is also wearing it on his face after another one of his shots sailed right. This is
a mess.
Brendan, you're writing here.
Okay.
1:50 p.m. Eastern. Patrick Cantlay is once again discussing the EV, the expected value of the hammer. Even with today's new rule, guy knows where his distressed debt is. That's from PJ. 12:13 p.m. Eastern. This is PJ again. During halftime, I received an ESPN push notification for the highlight of Tommy Fleetwood's ace in TGL practice that I mentioned earlier. A push notification from the worldwide leader in sports to watch a highlight from screen golf practice. 3:07 p.m. Eastern. This is from PJ again. I must give Patrick Cantlay some credit. The EV hammer conversations played out perfectly for an Atlanta Drive comeback. Congratulations to the city of Atlanta and Arthur Blank for having Belichick on their side this time. 4:05 p.m. Eastern. This is from Joseph Lamania. Whoever can build a green surface anywhere, made out of any material that Justin Thomas can make a putt on, deserves a Nobel Prize. 4:55 p.m. Eastern. This is from Brendan. Shane Lowry, yes, that one. The Irish golfer was described as having a wide receiver build and body as he walked into the arena in a Michael Crabtree 49ers jersey.
What? Wide receiver?
Shane Lowry described as a wide receiver build and body.
I mean, maybe a fullback or tight end, H-back. God.
522. This is from Joseph Lamania. I can't believe they're periodically displaying strokes gained numbers in the freaking TGL as if they mean anything. Just as a reminder, the starting point for strokes gained is the scoring average on a hole for the day. And there are only 2 scores recorded on each hole.
The data set.
5:33 PJ. Marty Smith just called Wyndham Hammer Clark in an unironic manner. I don't even want to be around anymore. Well, that's the last one that we'll we did that. Highlight here.
We started at 1 or whatever. Like, are we doing this? Are we really gonna sit and watch this and blog it? We did.
I remember I there was an imprint of my body on the couch because I didn't leave for 9 straight hours of TGL.
Oh God.
It was everybody was this is the greatest day of TGL because it was
all right. Yeah.
All the matches were super dramatic. There were some great shots, some log putts, and it was a big day for him. This is what Nelly called Keegan Luigi on her Instagram because he was the green shirt and the mustache.
Yep.
Jupe stinks. Everything was close except for Jupe stinks. They're down 7 through 7 holes. And Tom Sim, hits a fairway wood close on a par 5 and yells, "Let's go!" To which everybody tweets out like the Chris Paul hits a 3 down 40. Tiger also delivers probably the most embarrassing. So, most embarrassing moment, all owned to Jupe Stinks. They had the Kisner just skull right into the flag stick out of the bunker. You had Tiger to the shot clock violation. This one might have been the worst. PJ, you have the video. Tiger somehow thinks he's only 99 yards out.
Oh, God.
But in actuality, it was 199. We'll roll it here, Peach.
99.
He's got like a wedge.
What is he doing? He's got a wedge. What are you doing? 199.
He said 99 yards. I said 99.
Oh, no.
No, I heard you say 99. Not 199.
I'm going to have to do some investigative journalism. What the hell just happened?
No, I heard 99 yards. So I grabbed my 56 and I hit 100 yards.
Oh, man. I love Homa. Is it Homa and Kim? I'm like, wait, he's got a wedge. Why has he got a wedge? Like right as he's over the ball. That's good. That's good.
So, incredible moment.
Yep.
Incredible moment. So that was TGL Monday.
President's Day Marathon.
Let's dive. We'll dive into Mexico, the event of the year, and then we'll get into news.
Okay.
We get the Brian Campbell out duels Aldrich Potgieter in a playoff. It's horrendous golf. So bad, it's good. Joseph Lamagna. So this is some of the worst golf you're going to see in a final round of a PGA Tour event. PJ tweets, "I would like to use the Men in Black memory eraser following the Potgieter short game highlight segment where they were showing short game."
It was like Duff into a bunker, couldn't get out of a bunker, over the green. It was like every bet. They had like 90 seconds of just like shitty chips from a final round in which he was trying to just land the plane.
I mean, I had tweeted earlier the day, like, Potgieter is absolutely electric. Anything can happen on any shot. That was the... Potgieter should have won this by 7.
Yeah.
And obviously, VidantaWorld, that is called VidantaWorld.
One word, though, right? Isn't like it's smashed together?
Oh,
VidantaWorld.
Yes.
Yeah. VidantaWorld.
The fact of VidantaWorld is this just like Bomber's Paradise. Like, if you hit it far, you love this place.
It's just a wheel away. With
the year
impunity.
before Jake Knapp won, I found in Shackelford's Quadrilateral a very amusing line. Defending champion Jake Knapp finishes T25 -11 in a title defense. NBC/Golf Channel treated like Francis Ouimet showing up at the 1914 U.S. Open.
I don't remember what they did, but I believe it. The characterization. Was this Noda on the call?
No, it's not the call. Yes.
This will come up in about 20 minutes or so. But this is also the week where there's so much Jake Knapp chatter that Andy decides to go on the record and say he doesn't understand the Jake Knapp thing. And then we'll get into what happens next week.
Shoots 59 next week. So, Campbell somehow gets into this playoff, hitting it nowhere. The ball speeds in the playoff. Potgieter hits 194, and Campbell hits 163, which prompted this no laying up tweet, which was pretty great. Two Mariners pitchers, Randy Johnson, the big unit.
It's a good one.
Fire gas, and Jamie Moyer out there throwing 82.
Junk. That's good. It is an insane discrepancy. Like, think about two polar opposites somehow ending up on the playoff.
Potgieter had like a mud ball on one of his drives, and it led to like the ball sailing left on 18. He could not birdie the 18th hole in the playoff, even though he was just ripping like 360-yard tee shots right down the middle. Noda, of course, was firing on all cylinders as always. Potgieter birdied the 18th to get into the playoff, and during the playoff, Noda says Potgieter hasn't birdied this hole recently.
I remember.
But he had made a birdie literally 20 minutes earlier to get in the playoff.
I remember this. You got all over this. You jumped all over that one. I remember that.
Obviously, the highlight of the playoff is Brian Campbell hitting one of the worst drives ever. Like, the thing started right and faded even more right. It was going 20 yards into the hazard or the out of bounds, off property, hits trees, bounces back almost into the fairway.
It was like this bamboo wall. It was like, you know, bamboo can be dense, like just off the green monster, slicing.
So he wins in the playoff. It's completely ridiculous. It's, you know, great story. University of Illinois alum, had one of the worst rookie years ever. You know, he in 2016 he was a rookie. He had 20 starts, 13 missed cuts, 2 top 25s, and never finished in the top 10 on the PGA Tour. And then he won this event, got into the Masters, and you know, then kind of continued his form where he's pretty irrelevant unless he pops his head up into contention, which obviously he won the John Deere later this year too. But yeah, this was as good as it got. Potgieter trying to hang on was just amazing, and then obviously you saw it again later in the year at Detroit. One of the other things, Potgieter's caddy. So
yeah, didn't he keep getting like awkward numbers or
literally the most unprepared caddy? PJ had a bet on Potgieter, and PJ was just distraught afterwards.
I had Potgieter, like it was like 110 to 1. I was gonna make like over $1,000 if he could just get this thing down, and he couldn't do it. And this caddy, they had the same like 9-iron into the 18th green 5 straight times, and the caddy never had the number, never knew
the bunker.
Yeah, cover the bunker right in front.
Campbell had to get a ruling. And then they cut to Potgieter and Potgieter, Campbell's hit, and they're just standing at the ball. And Potgieter's like, "What is it to cover the bunker?" And the guy's like, well, it's, you know, he starts doing the math. It's like, how do you not have this all? You're trying to get this guy across the finish line. Another amusing thing was this is when we met Potgieter's dad, who was dressed exactly the same.
Same. Mini me, like scripting,
same logo, sponsor logos, everything, like just incredible. So Mexico was absolutely sensational.
That was a great Sunday.
Let's get to some news. A lot of other stuff was happening this week. Luke Clanton signs with Nike, and they have this huge big welcome video. You know, it's just like interesting to look back how like little, like we've talked about how little buzz about Luke Clanton is, when like earlier this year it was like Luke Clanton's going to be like the next god of golf.
Mm-hmm.
And he might still get there. It's just like crazy how quick social media gives up on people, is what I would say. Tiger gets a Medal of Honor from Trump.
I don't remember that.
And this was, he brought him out in front of like a bunch of reporters and like gets them all riled up. It was during when they were having the working session with Monahan and Adam Scott and Yasser. So they also had Tiger out, and they brought him out. It was Black History Month, and they have like they bring, you know, Tiger up on stage also, and he talks about how Tiger's got more majors in him. He just was playing golf with him the other day. He's got more majors in him, but it was also during this like working session. He's like, we're going to go talk about golf.
There was one press conference that was very, very a political hot button issue. I don't want to know. I don't remember like tariffs or like even like judicial like deportation or something. And Tiger was just there in the room all of a sudden. It was like you had the political press on this very controversial. Tiger's just standing there like, how did I get here? Oh, it's good.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Obviously, the tour we're hearing like. That the tour has told people to get like an announcement of the unification out like ready,
Draft
like a press release ready.
Yeah.
Because it's coming from this meeting.
That's right.
Rex Hoggard reported that a live golfer told the PGA Tour the PGA Tour could be open to seeing live golfers competing at PGA Tour events as early as the 2025 Players Championship.
That was like 3 weeks away.
Yeah, that's 3 weeks from now.
Insane.
The meeting, which began at 12 p.m. This came out like it's reportedly wrapping up, and that this is a done deal.
Yeah,
the unification's happening, but they, eventually send out. They're still working on it. They send out this long press release that says we're still working on it, and we're still working on it now.
Yeah. Yeah. God.
Makes you wonder what happened in the meeting. Because after the meeting, it kind of died.
Are we still working on it now?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we have a framework agreement that's going to go on 3-year anniversary in June. We had agreement in principle in whatever this was, February of 25. Doesn't seem like the meeting, was smooth.
So they still, like, early in the week, they think that this deal's going to happen even after the meeting. It's like, oh, they're waiting for the shoe to drop. And then Eamon has a report on the weekend. It's like the meeting didn't go well.
No. The valuations,
I think
is Liv staying or going, a lot of stuff was not.
The scuttlebutt was that, the offer in terms of what they valued Live Golf at was very insulting to Yasser.
He was angered. Yeah.
And that's how the whole thing broke down.
There was also scuttlebutt.
He was like, look at how much money I've spent. And they basically were like, yeah, but this is how much it's worth.
It's not. There was also scuttlebutt at one point where the tour, I think, like, was expecting Trump to come in like riding hard for them, and then was like not all the way behind them in the way they expected. Just sounded like sort of a circus act, like bouncing around the room. So, anyways, a lot of scuttlebutt from that meeting. Go ahead. Sorry.
So, anyways, that's that meeting. Josh Carpenter had a tweet. No Kevin Kisner for NBC this week in Mexico. It'll be Noda, Faxon, and Byram. Kisner will make his season debut as their lead analyst next week at Cognizant, unless he makes the cut, at which point he would start at API.
Kind of bananas.
Insane.
Also could make the cut. Then what do? You just Faxon goes to the number 1 seed if he makes the cut or something.
Carl Phillips, Koala Carl, signs with Sunday Red.
Sunday Red.
There's a write-up in Scratch, which was quite humorous.
Oh, no.
Carl's journey has been marked by success at every level he's played, Wood said in a press release. At Sunday Red, we were drawn towards this relentless work ethic and pioneering spirit that embody pioneering spirit.
What does that mean? Like he's Davy Crockett, Lewis and Clark? What does that even mean? All right.
Pioneering spirit that embody what we stand for and what we look for in our athletes. With his impressive track record and determination, I have no doubt he will make a significant impact quickly on the PGA Tour and is one of the game's future stars. We are proud to announce our first brand ambassador, Carl Phillips, a Stanford University standout, and the 2024 Korn Ferry Tour Rookie of the Year. Carl's journey embodies some parallels to Tiger Woods' own journey. From child prodigy to Stanford champion to early professional success. Comparing Carl Phillips
parallels
to Tiger Woods, the greatest player ever.
Some. Yeah. Is a golfer, went to Stanford. You know, there's some parallels.
This is definitely Scratch's era. I don't know. I haven't been over there very much. The website is a laundry machine here for PR companies.
Oh. All right, repackaging some press releases. Yeah, that's true.
Just doing some laundry here.
All right.
Other news: Flus gets hired by the Cowboys as their defensive coordinator. You know what's great about other Thanksgiving game?
What?
We had Flus duking it out with Matt Nagy, offensive defensive coordinators, duking it out in that Cowboys Chiefs game. Two pairs. I mean, it's pretty incredible how inept and awful Flus was as a coach.
Yeah. The leather jacket. Remember the makeover? God. I mean, the Cowboys might mess around and win the East. Maybe. I don't know. Is that crazy to say? We'll see.
Eagles could be bad. It could be just another terrible team that the Bears played.
Do you get credit for that one?
Bears might go to the Super Bowl. We never know. All right.
You know what Flus didn't have?
Never let it run. It's going to get better. It better get better. Bears on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Good, better, best. He did do a makeover. And speaking of makeovers, you tweeted out more on the Cleeks duffel bags.
Look at this picture. This guy is wearing like a silk shirt and some fedora, and you have Freddie Ketchup standing next to him with a $5,000 bag. Who is this for?
Yeah, you zoomed in on a tweet on Bland's face. PJ, do you have that by chance?
I just took I couldn't get the full effect of Blandy on the tweet screenshot, but you can feel free to just zoom in on your little YouTube app right now.
Zoom in on Blandy. Look at the expression. Just like.
Also, Maruk looks like a giant in this picture compared to everybody else. I know he's a big dude, but he looks ginormous.
I mean, he's 6'8".
No,
I don't think he's that
6'5".
No, I think he's really maybe 6'5". Maybe I'm wrong. John Rahm drops out of the top 50 of the OWGR. That got some people pretty bothered about the OWGR. Sure. Tony Finau signs a one-match contract with LA Golf Club, which prompts a lot of what's going on. Apparently, I think it was Fleetwood and can't remember the other person that was unavailable for a week.
Rose maybe was abroad.
Rose, yeah. And then last but not least, Aim Point is under fire because Alim Kim is aim pointing a 1-foot putt.
Oh my God.
She missed a putt and went right into Aim Point. Missed like a 5-footer before this. Goes right into Aim Point. This goes everywhere.
I forgot about this.
Just insanity.
You got crushed. I mean, there's barely room to fit your foot between the ball and the hole. That's the length it is,
This broke contain wildly. This went like super nuclear.
God.
Yeah. I mean, the impressions on this tweet, their origin tweet, which had a great caption from, what is it, Metalworks Golf? Golf has lost his way. This tweet alone had like 2.5 million impressions.
Aim Point had a tough winter, tough Q1, I would say. Hot topic, Aim Point.
That does it for Mexico week. Where are we at? We're at 2 hours almost. What are we doing?
143 is what I got. 143 is what I got. We got Cognizant and Bay Hill in the chamber. We've done 3 events. Peach, you want to rip Cognizant? Can you rip through?
We'll rip Cognizant. All right. We'll make this fast. First, you mentioned the newsletter. Mentioned the newsletter before. I just want to shout out Joseph for maybe my favorite newsletter of the year as I've gone through. This is his writing. The Mexico Open at VidantaWorld, which shall henceforth be known as TPC Craig Ranchero, took up 4 days on the calendar this past week. The golf course asked a provocative question. What if we hosted a professional golf tournament on a golf course that doesn't ask any questions? The 7,500-yard Greg Norman design is a ball speed demon sueño with its wide resort-friendly fairways and little trouble to dissuade players from launching tee shots with 460cc drivers directly into the Mexico sun. Not sold yet? VidantaWorld is just a 20-minute drive from the Puerto Vallarta International Airport and features more than 40 restaurants ranging from casual to fine dining. Based on the limited research I did, La Cantina seems like a solid, affordable option for fajitas. Not a bad way to unwind after spending an arduous day on the golf course competing for a $7 million purse and 500 FedEx Cup points. So I just wanted to shout out TPC Craig Ranchero and calling it a ball speed demon sueño. I mean, that's the good stuff right there from Joseph.
Yeah, that was a great one.
All right. 3 TGL matches this week. I'll make this fast. We don't really need to get into this.
TGL for
Tony Finau is filling in. He gives a little pre-match interview in the compound with Marty, saying that he knows how important tonight is for LA Golf Club. They're playing NYGC. NYGC needs to win to stay in whatever alleged playoff contention. We didn't know the rules at this point. We didn't know how any of this worked. So I was very upset that LAGC was bringing an effective ringer in. Also in attendance, also in the field at the Cognizant. So Luke Clanton is in attendance. I remember I sent this tweet out from the Friday Golf account. Luke Clanton, potentially the number 1 overall pick in the 2025 TGL draft, is out for a scouting trip at the SoFi Center. People did not like this. People thought it was serious. People thought there was actually a draft. The replies were very, very rude, mean, however you want to say it. People were not happy. Cam Young makes the longest putt in TGL history, which is now being one-upped, however, still has the record, and is immediately asked on the broadcast by Marty in his earpiece if he has anything to say about it, to which he just does not answer, does not acknowledge that he was asked a question, does not say anything. So good meme here from the egg account, the Captain America, no, I don't think I will.
They brought a mute in for a format that relies on banter, and Cam Young was mute.
Little tease here for Lunch with the Boys Part 2. We did ask about that, so we have on the record for what he's planning for Season 2. NYGC is up 4-0. They need to win to stay in playoff contention. They blow it. Brendan Haseby tweet out the Mets 2007 collapse. New York Daily News from the SGS account. Joseph says, to use the Chris Ballard meme, we like our guys because NYGC did not sign Tony Finau as a Xander injury replacement. So we're just going with, Ricky and Matt Fitzpatrick out there. Then the next night, the next match is the Frogs in the Atlanta Drive. Andy is in Austin this week, and he's looking for a Boston Common bar in Austin, Texas. This was
didn't find one.
This is one of my favorite tweets. And this was also Season on the Brink Day, a must-win for the Frogs, calling it, as they obviously had not won yet to this point. Brendan is in attendance, procuring a Car Guru's Frog Squad t-shirt for Andy.
I did get that to you.
You did. You got it.
Masters or something. A player. Yeah. I don't remember. I gave you a frog shirt. Yeah.
So if I said it's been worn.
Brendan's in attendance procuring Frogs merch. This is my favorite tweet I think I've ever sent. The LeBron at WWE with his flip phone and Brendan caught in the background taking video of the Frogs with his phone. Influencing, getting content for the Instagram story. Much like last week, the screen was terrible. The screen was horrible.
The sim was off.
Yeah,
right?
Nobody knew what was going on. Patrick Cantley looks like he's seen a ghost. Billy looks the most confused that a human has ever been. Hideki cannot believe what he's seeing as a result of these screens. So the Frogs lose. They lose 6-3. They are even further against the brink. They need everybody else to lose in order to make the playoffs, which obviously didn't happen. Those two matches on Monday night had the lowest ratings of the year to that point. Those are on ESPN2. Those put up basically minuscule numbers. Everybody is starting to sound the alarm that, maybe this has gone on for too long, and where do we go from here? Tuesday morning, Full Swing 3 is released. The Keegan, we're going to go to Bethpage to kick their fucking ass is the Twitter fodder of the day. Not good. Not good in retrospect. I don't
on the wall of the team room in Europe.
I don't think anybody is happy that maybe that was out there. Brendan does make a cameo within the first 5 minutes of episode 1 though.
Really? I don't remember that.
Promptly noted. This is at the Masters.
Season 3?
Yes, you're in episode 1 within the first 5 minutes.
I don't think I got through this season, but yeah.
I don't know if I watched any of it this year.
I don't think Keegan was happy. It sounds like he lost his lid about that scene from the Pete Cup being in the show, but when it didn't work out well in the end. So.
No, not great. I would say, in an ideal world. I don't even think I have anything. The Bay continues their undefeated domination here. Kevin Kisner hits a shank to add to the Jupiter Links low light Royal first ever shank in indoor golf history. 6-3 Bay final. We bring in the SGS press releases for the first time to make our Cognizant picks. So as you can see, my favorite part about this is that I said it was February 26, 2024, because I was just working off a template that happened in 2024, and I'm an idiot. So everybody got on me for that. That was good. But we take Russell Henley, Billy Ho, and Ben Griffin for this week. Jordan Spieth is playing the event for the first time ever. Luke Clanton, as I mentioned, is in the field needing a make cut to secure his card through PGA Tour U, as Kevin said before. NBC's press release, Andy, you had a great tweet about this. I know you just mentioned it. NBC's weekly media release contains the words Kevin Kisner will serve as his analyst for coverage on NBC depending on his availability on the weekend, to which Andy tweets, everybody knows the best way to do a golf broadcast is to have a lead analyst with availability based on his play on the course. So this is the first week that
ideal setup.
Yeah, I mean, how could it not be? So we get to Thursday. Jake Knapp, 59. Right in Andy's grill. The week before that, Andy was. I'm trying to find the. Brendan, you had a great tweet here. I don't know. Here we go. The week before, Andy comes on here during Mexico. He's questioning Jake Knapp's superstar credentials, and for a full 5-minute segment. Next round, Jake Knapp tees it up, and great screen grab here from Brendan. Heard you were talking shit, and everybody else on Twitter. The scoring average is down by 5 shots. Everybody's reminiscing about when the Honda was a tough tournament. Everybody's just giving it to PGA Tour Championship management, calling it the Care Bear trap. Billy,
the overseed was the deal, right?
Yeah. Billy said it's a little disappointing. The rough is not long enough. It's not peeling enough when you miss. This will be the lowest scoring average in the history of this tournament. People are very, very upset, reminiscing about the once great Honda. So Jake Knapp goes out in 29 for a Thursday 59. Friday 70 holds the solo lead entering Sunday. Not to be outdone, Carl Phillips goes out in 30 on Friday. Pavone joins him. This is the first and last Pavone mention I think we're going to have this year. Tough year for Andy's guy.
Yeah. He'll be back. Don't worry.
Everybody's just putting up numbers on Thursday and Friday. Clanton gets hot Friday afternoon, makes 4 birdies in a row, makes the cut, gets his card. His whole family is there. They're like sobbing on the 18th green late Friday afternoon as he gets his card. He does an interview with Damon for a Golf Channel. He breaks down crying. It's a big social media moment. Everybody loves some Luke Clanton at this point. Ricky Fowler makes a Saturday charge, gets as high as T2 after not getting an exemption into the Arnold Palmer Invitational, which we'll get to in a second here. On Sunday, I'll just wrap up the actual tournament before doing news. Jake Knapp makes a 7 as he tries to play from the water for some unknown reason instead of taking a drop. Effectively ejects from the tournament. Joe Highsmith goes 64-64 after making the cut on the number to win with Joe LaCava Jr. on the bag and qualify for the Masters. So that was a big social media catnip that Joe LaCava and Joe LaCava Jr. were both caddy in the Masters together.
I mean, in the Masters?
Yeah.
For the next week, they pair Highsmith and Cantlay together, and it's like this cat. And we're
there
like,
you go.
Are we really doing this? Like, we're
There
doing
you
the feature group based on the caddies, and sense some people who don't like caddies. So
there you go. On the DP World Tour, South African Open, Dale Whitnell makes 2 aces in the first round. Not only does he make 2 aces, he also completes the 3-1-3 challenge, which we thought was never going to happen ever in the history of professional golf, but gets it done. Makes a birdie 3 on the first hole, an ace on the second hole, and an eagle 3 on the third hole. Laurie Cantor was the runner-up in the South Africa Open, qualifies for the Players with his OWGR top 50, marking the first LIV player to come back and play on the PGA Tour. Ryan Peake wins the New Zealand Open. This is the biker gang. Everybody learns of him. And he's excited to talk about biker gangs again. And Lydia Ko wins the HSBC Singapore for her 23rd career win. The biggest news of the week, as I mentioned earlier, Sam Saunders announces that Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler, Gary Woodland will not receive sponsor exemptions.
Biggest news of the week.
Into API. Here are some quotes.
The Sam Saunders special.
Yeah, here are some quotes from Mr. Saunders. What our team did was try to pick players that, it's about protecting and growing the game of golf as a whole and doing what's the most balanced and fair process. Honestly, I think there was a lot of thought put into each and every player that was selected. At the end of the day, it's who's getting the ball in the hole the fastest that are the one who get the opportunities. You can't make everybody happy with exemptions, so you just try to do it as fair and balanced as possible. Then Adam Schupak, whose article is his, explains that Rafa Campos let the cat out of the bag early, said that he had received an exemption a couple weeks prior, and asked why did he get an exemption. This is Sam Saunders again. There are different levels of effort from each player, and I will tell you from what I've seen, I don't know that anybody's written a more thoughtful letter and put more effort into an exemption than Rafa Campos did. He's genuine, he's kind, he's a steward of the game, and that's something that mattered a lot to my grandfather. One of my granddad's final quotes was he considered himself to be a steward of the game and a caretaker of the game, and I think Rafa Campos falls beautifully into that category. So the letter narrative begins here. Here's what Jordan Spieth has to say after it leaked that he will not be playing next week at Bay Hill.
I'm bummed not to be there next week. It's been a great place for me, and I really wish I was getting that start, but I needed to play better injured golf last year, I guess.
Woo-wee. Fires back. Also mentioned in the Schupak article, there was maybe some notes from the Bay Hill committee. Spieth had only played the event once before it was a signature event, and he was mandated to be there. So, couple of receipts there. Elsewhere in news, this is one of, I forgot about this, but this is, in looking back, one of the stories of the year. Everybody united on one side unanimously of this. Annika throws her support behind. Do you remember who this was? Who did Annika support to be the next LPGA commissioner?
Oh, The Larry Scott.
Larry Scott, disgraced
Pac-12.
former Pac-12 commissioner who blew up the conference, is who Annika wants to lead the LPGA.
Conference commissioner of like the last 30 years, which is saying something. Like total record of failure.
Larry Scott gets every single person on the greater golf Twitter environment going, just reminiscing about the good old days of the Pac-12 before it was absolutely bombed in the name of a terrible TV deal. Joel Beal has the first inklings of a return to Doral for the PGA Tour, coming off of the meeting previous week. Angel Cabrera announces he will play the Masters, and some enterprising journalist gets a hold of Steve Cohen at a Mex Spring Training game to ask him about NYGC, and he just repeatedly says to this guy that they keep blowing it and they keep blowing these leads, which I just find hilarious that Steve had to care about this.
He's talking about this as Met Spring Training, about them blowing leads, the NYGC.
Little did he know he was going to be so disappointed in the Mets blowing leads.
I was going to say, this actually marked the high water point for the Mets season and Steve Cohen ownership, because NYGC goes on a playoff run after this. So that's what we got for Honda Cognizant. I hope that wasn't too long.
No, not long at all. Do we want to cut it here and lead with Bay Hill?
I think it's time.
We don't need to keep it going. I feel like we're getting behind the chains a little bit here, but we'll do Bay Hill next week. Next part, some players will split up, which was a great players championship, and then get into Texas and lead into the Masters, which God knows how long the Masters one will take. But we're going to do some regular shows here with Australian Open and Hero coming this week, then return to year review in December, be done before Christmas. So thank you for your continued support of the Shotgun Start. We will talk to you on Wednesday.
Good, better, bad. Good, better, bad. Never let it run. Never let it run. It's going to get better.